All right, here we go. Yo, 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 what up, though? I got my guy BC Noon in the building. What's up, man?
What's up, my man? How you do, D?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. I got a real gatekeeper in the building, man.
Appreciate that.
A man who name rings bells, who hands is in the street. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know that you not touching radio, you not catching no movement without that product first touching your hands, man.
I appreciate that, man. You know, I work hard to get to that position, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. How 2020 treating you right now?
It's blessed, man. You know, it started off really, really well. You know, we are getting to it. Have actually introduced a few new things of my repertoire, I guess I would call it.
Absolutely.
Getting into this A&R thing, you know? So it's a blessing.
I see y'all was just up in New York, right? Y'all was
Yes,
just
sir.
making. How was that?
It was good to us, man. You know, went out there, had artists that I work with, I manage. Arian, shout out to Arian. He got a big record, man, right now, you know. Working at radio, got about 15 to 20 different stations in and out the market. And, you know, it's actually attached and it's doing well.
Okay.
Called Checkway. Y'all go check that out.
Okay. So a lot is transpiring in the city lately.
Yes.
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 I definitely want to get an OG take on it.
All right.
I want to start with some current topics. Like right now, you know what I'm saying, recently you had Mo3 manager, Rainwater, allegedly suing Yella Beezy and V Live. Man, have you seen that?
I've seen it. You know, I kind of keep up with it by, I guess, off the internet. I hate to say that, but, you know, I'm not in the mix of it to knowing when as soon as it hit the press kind of thing. But I saw it, yeah. I'm aware of it.
Some people feel like, well, I ain't gonna say what people feel like. What do you feel about Rainwater suing Yella Beezy?
Really, I like to stay out of that, but just keeping it transparent or real. I just hate the foolishness that's going on for the city because, you know, what people fail to realize, they hold us all accountable as a market.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know, we've had this opportunity a time or two before, and I definitely say we passed it up and didn't take care of it right. And, you know, a lot of the business outside the marketplace, you know, if it's too much, they ain't gonna come touch it. You know what I mean? So I just hate the stigmatization that it'll give us on the negative side. Honestly, I don't like it myself.
So I saw you at with Trap Boy Freddy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Birthday,
yes sir.
You know, so I'm looking forward to the day my cloud up. I can get invited to some, you know, some birthdays.
Well, you know, 300 some of my family, you know, do work with them. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know, but like, you know, I deal with all of that over there. You know what I mean? One way or another, like you said, I'm gonna have my hands in the mix. So, you know, I'm just a blessing, man. But you know.
What was that dinner like? Like, what did they serve? I'm interested because Trap seemed like he'll roll it out for you.
Oh, he did. They did. You know, it was actually the label doing it for his birthday.
Ah, got you.
You know what I mean? So it was a real special thing. And what they did, they brought in people from all over Texas. You know, my folks from JQ and a couple cats from Houston, you know, as well as different radio stations from all over came in. You know what I mean? And it was just a real good treat, man, to be honest with you. I was glad to see something of the nature, you know, have my input in on doing it as well. It was just big because I think we need more of that in the marketplace.
Yeah.
We need more of that. You know, I say it all the time, you know, just like me and you, we've talked about this. You know, people need to see that me and you fool with each other.
Absolutely.
You know, people come from outside the marketplace and they may have 4 or 5 different meetings and things of that nature separate. Instead of that, I think that would be one of the most powerful things we could ever land in the marketplace, you know, instead of being so segregated, you know, when people come in to have these meetings and things of that nature, I'm just gonna put it on record. They should pull up and see all of us at one time, instead of being 5 different phone calls, 5 different meetings, and 5 different conversations, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like, what is the solution, do you think, if possible, do you think it's even possible to bring Trap and Mo3 on that side together? You think that's just kind of one of those things, kind of like 50 and Ja Rule, you kind of just let it be, but hopefully it just be where people can just work and they don't turn bad?
Well, first off, I'm a praying man. I think anything's possible.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I just think you gotta put your best foot forward, and you never know what time will tell. You know what I mean? Because both of them are very, very musically inclined individuals.
Absolutely.
Man. Like I'm talking about, I've seen them sharpen their gavel more and more and more. I was just listening to Mo3 and Badass's joint venture they did together and got some great records on there, man. You know what I mean? Shit, just like Trap, I'm really glad to see Trap get that record that got him out of here.
Yeah,
you know, I heard you ask on the interview before, you know, can one record really change a person's life? Absolutely. Because the key that most folks don't realize is one gonna get you to 2. You're gonna get your shot. I just hope you learned enough and know how to work when you get that second shot to have yourself in a better position. But one gonna get you to two.
Okay.
Trust me. You know what I mean?
Southern Fried Marketing.
Yes, sir.
Definitely a name that rings bell, man. But for all audience out there who don't know Southern Fried Marketing yet, man, what is Southern Fried Marketing?
Well, Southern Fried Marketing is definitely the marketing department of most of these individuals have independent labels today. It's a marketing outlet that you can come to even if you don't have a label. You know, it's just a real live creative hub that we assist people in a lot of different ways of marketing, because a lot of people know me from music, but I've been blessed to be part of different things from Frito-Lay to the core water that everybody's running around and drinking. I help introduce that to the marketplace.
Oh, wow.
Then I go to another beverage that was really amazing that I saw it take off in the marketplace. And I'm talking about, I started it at the Big T, was that drink. If you ever seen that drink, it's a relaxed beverage that's in a purple can. It's in all 7-Elevens. I remember the news picking it up and making because it was the opposite from energy drinks.
Oh, wow.
It's one of the first kinds, you know what I mean? But, you know, we've been in front of the curve over the 20 years, and to be honest, that's what I really thrived off of when I first got even in the music industry. I wanted to be part of the hottest records. I wanted to, you know, attach, and I was blessed because one of my first clients was Epic, and at the time, that was Michael Jackson,
Wow.
J-Lo, you know, you talk about Maxwell, you know, that was one of my first clients, you know what I mean? So I just been fortunate. Then it went from Columbia to, you know, I have to shout out my little nephew, has a label called Country Boy Records, which is very founded in the marketplace. And he used to be signed to Death Row as an artist at the time, which is, you know, Fort Worth's finest. But, you know, it just went from there. Once I realized I had a service and people needed it, it wasn't just music that we did. You know, like, you know, one of the highlights of my career, as well as my brand, we was attached to everything that 50 Cent did at one point, from the clothing to the Reebok deal to the water, everything. You know what I mean? I'm talking about, we've even promoted Hawaiian Punch. You know, back in the day when you probably, I don't know for sure where you're from, but here it was a real big epidemic at one point. It had to have rap vehicles.
Okay.
I was one of the first innovative people in the city that had these rap vehicles running around. You know, I used to have 2-3 different trucks, and you know, we'd had a product in it, you know, back from the day when it was more of a physical, you know, product standpoint for the music industry. You know, you pull up to events or pull up to the mall or wherever it may be for high traffic, and you know, the touch point, give people
Absolutely.
Products and, you know, T-shirts from promotional tools, let's just say that. You know what I mean?
So back in the day, can you give me like a rundown, like our artists who was trying to make it back in the gap pre-internet to get exposed to the masses? What were some of the I guess what were some of the methods that had to be used in order to get your record to the masses?
Well, I use one that everybody knows. His name is Twisted Black.
Okay.
He was one of my, you know, monumental times of my career at early stage too. I just use him as an example because we really moved around. Well, Twisted's original story, he's originally from Detroit area, up in the Gary area in the Indiana world. And we wanted to try to attach that. But he lived here in Fort Worth. He grew up in Fort Worth, moved here at a young age. You know, he's a legendary street cat, but I'm talking about, we literally got on the road with 2 SUVs and traveled the world, bro. I can't lie to you. Literally wrapped up. They had him on the side of them. They was billboards at the time. We probably gave away anywhere from 10 to 15,000 CDs in the streets.
Wow.
At that time, you know what I mean? But that led us into a deal with TVT. You know what I mean? And he actually, we paved our way to a deal. So, you know, we saw it from out really, as they call it, the grind. You know, we did it, man. I can't even lie to you. Did it with the best of them. You know what I mean? Right here from Fort Worth. But, you know, I think one of my ultimate things that I would contest to would be, I always learned from the national labels how to feed these indies, you know, how to do it the right way.
Right.
Now, would they listen? How long they listen? How long does it stick to them? To understand it takes a minute, because, you know, everybody now, even with, you know, I know we're going to eventually talk about it, this internet game, they want a quick success, man. And you believe it or not, it's you know, some things you got to do, and you're going to get a cool and a quick return on it. But the things that stick the longest in this industry, to be honest with you, it takes a good 18 to 24 months, man. Yeah. And, you know, most of them can't use it to sustain that time to run that race like that, from a budget, from numerous things. They get frustrated. You know, I've heard you interview a couple different artists, and they talk about the stopping and going, and that's not really the way to do it. You got to maintain and push on through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even when it's not seeming right, you know, which a lot of them don't be students of the game to hear where the music's changing to try to be in front of it. You know what I mean? Because that's what it is. It's sound waves. You know what I mean? You've actually seen probably in your time of living, music's changed because of the sound of it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We can go back. I go back to 3 6 Mafia. I'm talking about Juicy J is one of my peoples. Literally, get on the phone, make some things happen personally. You know what I mean? But I've just seen the music change over the years. You know what I mean? And people don't stay in front of it because, you know, for whatever apparent reason, because I guess it can get quick fixes. You know what I mean?
and we talk about it all the time. I did an episode with Rainwater, an interview with Rainwater, and he talked about internet rappers. He said internet rappers don't last long.
Nah.
They don't have longevity.
Nah.
Or at least yet because I mean, internet is here to stay. It's not going to go anywhere.
For sure.
But what are some of the pros and cons do you see with the internet? And
Pros is, you know, I can't lie, it gives you the ultimate opportunity to be exposed in a more faster fashion. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can control your content. If people understand that's what this thing is really about, is content. You know, you look at TV, and it amazes to me to people, they watch a show, it's about 12 episodes, and all of them are different, but it lines up to tell a story, right?
Right.
That's the way artists got to do the same thing. You know what I mean? You got to tell a story. Like, people want to buy into a product, and you have to turn yourself into a byproduct. And I hope somebody take this from this because it's the truth. You know, so many people want so many different things, and believe it or not, bottom line, end of the day, you have to drive yourself and turn into a byproduct.
Absolutely.
Period.
I feel like artists use the internet like lottery tickets.
Okay.
You know, or scratch offs.
Okay.
You know how you go to the store and you get a scratch off and you hope that this is the one that's going to change your life. And then when it's not that one, you just switch up. Instead of really going working and creating a hustle and something that's going to continue to bring that residual income, it's like, forget trying to create a visual. I'm going to take this and I'm going to grab another scratch off and scratch. And I feel like that's what artists do with songs. Instead of getting out there and like getting a record that actually might be good and campaigning and working it, they be like, oh, it didn't go hot fast enough. Let me get another song and throw it out.
That's another thing about this internet thing. Everybody's in comparison of what somebody else did. You got to remember, I'm going to keep it real with you. I haven't seen anyone's route be absolutely the same. No way fake, because let's be 1,000. Titty Boy, 2 Chainz, to modern day, route was different than anybody else you could really speak out here, just be honest with you. And, that was before the internet, that was before a lot of stuff, but he switched up, and I haven't seen too many artists to be able to switch their name and still propel into success like he did.
Right.
But I just use him as an example because I'd worked with him a lot too over his years. You know what I'm saying? The whole DTP situation, the whole going into Def Jam, doing everything he's done. I like had my hands in a lot of that, but it's just, I think they don't believe in it enough to see their own success. Because let's be 1,000. Most people walk in a room, they're not trying to stand alone or stand out, really. They're trying to mix in. They're trying to blend in. You know what I mean? And I think that's just different from me. I've always been a standalone kind of dude,
So what do you think, like the rise of blogs, right? At one point in time, DJs were very instrumental in breaking artists. But now with the internet age, you got blogs like Say Cheese right now, where I've personally saw Sean take a kid that was virtually had no views, no audience, no nothing, place him on this platform, run him through the machine a few times, take him off to a label, and this person signs a 6-figure or maybe even a 7-figure deal. Well, what is your idea on that?
That's their route, though.
Okay.
That's just bottom line, to be honest with you. And I still do it the old method where DJs are still the most valuable part of all of this makeup, because I'm still talking about sustaining and having a long career.
Right.
I'm not talking about a quick fix.
Okay.
Now that artist that you spoke on, and I have actually seen Sean and commend him and give him all the kudos, congratulations. He figured that system out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's not an easy thing to do. That's his route. You know what I mean? But I'm asking still, when they got that 6-figure deal, you got to remember, it's getting a 6-figure deal. Let's talk about the deal real quick. Just because you got a deal don't mean you got that deal, if that makes it hard financially. They're going to only give you an advance.
Right.
And if it doesn't proven, because there's so much hype in the situation, you don't get that back end.
Gotcha.
So it's just a conversation. Then that same artist is the one that got dropped.
Okay.
See, they don't talk about those type situations They just talk about, because everybody's caught up in the deal. You know what I mean? But I ask people off the top, because one of the things I get approached with a lot is, I got such and such, they're working my project and this, that, and the third, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Bases are real, and I put Scout of Honor, the DJ's still the center point of this music. They are the mouthpiece for artists.
So
DJs are.
Why does it seem like DJs are disinterested in even breaking artists anymore? It's more so like...
Well, not to cut you off, but there's so much money being made, everybody want their part.
And that's fair.
And let's be 1,000. First thing everybody's talking about is, family, which family come to realize be like a lot of disloyal individuals. Most people want to be compensated for their efforts and time, which rightfully they respectfully do. You should, especially if they're a big enough impact and they can change the meter. And that's some of the things that folks should do their homework and see if individual is that. But let's be 1,000. You got still powerful DJs like, the Envies, you can name them out, the Greg Streets. I can name them, the Bebe's. He's not even a DJ, he's an MC, but he's an influencer of no other. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
DJ Chaotic. I can go on and on, you know what I'm saying? A Trill's a very instrumental one that's working 7 days a week. If I'm trying to break a record, I'm going to individuals of this nature. DJ Fifes, you know what I mean? Shit, I seen you have hit that hoe up, but he's an influencer in our marketplace, bro. Just like, that's the thing that I don't think people really pay attention to, or what they're really trying to do over time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm an influencer.
Absolutely.
I know how to get down through here and we really have a chance to crack a record or establish an artist. It just depends on what race they're really trying to do. Some people try to get on so fast, they're not even worried about trying to establish a career. They just want to just get on.
They see it as a money grab. So, but when you have a young generation that's coming up in the hip hop game, because we know hip hop is still pretty, predominantly ran by the younger culture.
Yes, sir.
And let's say here in Dallas, you had a young culture. A lot of them looking at Sean Cotton than they do really with Bebe. Because I have a couple of artists be like, well, who was the last artist Bebe broke? Like, yeah, you see like all the major artists that is already established when they come into the city, they go to Bebe. But since I guess if you want to say even the heyday of, what's the kid name out of Louisiana? Hurricane Chris.
Absolutely.
A lot of people felt like Bebe may have attached itself to Yellow Beezy and Trap Boy and them after they hit a certain threshold.
Well,
and they could be wrong.
Well, they're absolutely wrong, first, because a lot of times you got to understand, people don't understand how this system works. And I state that because, what did you call me as soon as I sit down? One of the gatekeepers, right?
Right.
Well, this still ain't no different than, I know I'm using an outlandish scenario, but it's the truth. No different than the mob. You don't get denied from the right individuals, you don't move on. And you don't stick around long.
Gotcha.
So that's really still how this music thing is. The right individuals has to be tied to the project of some nature and our time spent to get that blessing where you can keep it moving. The last artist Bebe broke of a certain nature, I can tell you this, he had a lot to do with making the Stallion. I'll speak on that.
Okay.
A lot more. But see, what people are looking for to say himself, there's no one man can do this thing by himself.
I got you.
There's a system. Systematically, you got to know how to run the track. You know what I mean? And let's be 1,000. We can use it as locomotives. We can use them as a regular working train track that brings product across the world. It's heavy metal. All of them move different. You just got to get on the right track and be able to get down through there and deal with the right people, man.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
And I hope I'm answering your question.
No, you did. That's cool. That's perfect.
I don't think people really get it, understanding it's not just Bebe. You know what I mean? It's collectively of several things have to be hitting at the same exact time, but he is a very instrumental person when it comes to Dallas, this region, on the co-signing standpoint that you're better off having a chance to get him to. If he blessing your situation, it helps you your engine get down the road.
So if you would have
going back to New York, you asked me about New York.
Yeah.
Keeping it real with you. If we had moved around in New York, this, that, and the third, and it came up, is Bebe on this record? Yeah, we could pull it. You see what I'm saying? Like,
gotcha.
It happens, bro. So systematically, you have to be able to know who to deal with, not to deal with, to be able to even get those blessings, bro.
So if you were to put together a list of gatekeepers in Dallas, I don't know if you ever see, like, say, Cheese always put their list together, like top buzzing DJs,
rappers,
artists and shit.
Rappers. Yeah.
Southern Fried Market's list of gatekeepers in Dallas, who will be your top 5? These are the people that can make shit happen.
My top 5.
Boy, this is like the music executive mob of Dallas.
My top 5. Well, not to be arrogant of any nature, I'd have to say myself.
Okay.
Which, the brand, Southern Fried Marketing, Bebe, you have Chaotix, you have, Don Perion's coming to be a very influential influencer in the marketplace. He's very active, P Skills, and here I go without thinking myself of a nature. It just depends on what you got going on because, like if I'm in that dance world, you can't get it no better than a P Skills.
Right.
You know what I mean? He got them kids, he's influenced, that's what he do, that's what he's got going on. So it just depends on where the record is, but the top 5, I named out 3, 4 of them. I can't take nothing away from Trill. He's a major because he got that nightclub stuff popping.
Yeah.
I think we got something that's not so much as really just loud per se. And I shouldn't say loud, bad choice of word. That's not just as noticed because they don't put themselves out there in front as much as, and I'm talking about people like Swerve, the Fifes, you know what I mean? Shoot, I can't take nothing from Hit That. You ask me,
Yep.
See, now I'm past 5. You see what I'm saying? So it's like,
You
it's
only
hard
put
to put
Cotton
just
on the
5.
list?
Who?
Cotton?
Cotton, he's all by far, hands down. You know what I mean? But I'm thinking in, like I said, it depends on what you're trying to do.
I got you.
Because let's be 1,000. I'm no disrespect to Cotton. Even myself, I'm putting myself in here. So I'm putting myself out. If folks don't come with a budget of a certain nature, Cotton's not fooling with it.
That's not true.
Okay, talk to me.
So Cash Page,
Okay.
she popping right now.
Okay.
She was virtually nobody.
Okay.
She was brought to Sean, and Sean put him behind her. Got behind her. Now here
Okay.
it is, Cash Page on billboards with her track. You know what I'm saying? Doing her thing.
And I appreciate you educating me with that because that is a project that I know enough from the Def Jam situation.
Yep.
But I didn't know how she went about getting her deal.
That was
you
all
see what I'm
Sean.
saying? Okay. And I give him hands down on that.
Then you
see
got
what I'm saying?
you got a young cat. He jumped behind Splurge.
Okay.
That was Cotton.
See?
Now he working with a young cat coming out, Baby Youngin.
I'm familiar with him. I see he picked him up. He's from the North, Dallas somewhere.
That's Cotton.
Okay.
So yes, for people who want to get on Say Cheese to post on Say Cheese, yes, that can be payola.
So he's handling them in 2 different identities for sure.
Exactly.
That's a wonderful thing. He's a very smart businessman for that. For sure.
But I don't know if you saw this, but last week Sean was catching a whole bunch of heat because he made a tweet that came out saying he break more artists than Erykah Badu, or he did more for the city of Dallas when it comes to artists than Erykah Badu.
I can't say I've seen it.
And in her Twitter about ate him alive, man. You know what I'm saying? And Erykah actually responded to him in the DM. I got to see that joint the other day. How do you feel about when people make those type of statements?
But if he has, he's supposed to stand on his word. What you just educated me, I can't tell me, and I'm just saying here I go again, I could be standing to be educated, so I don't know everything. Who has Erykah Badu stamped as an artist and passed it on along and walked through? I don't know it. Do you?
I don't know that.
So he even if he came out right, wrong, or indifferent, it must have came out right enough to where it touched the nerve, which is partially probably right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I got you.
So you can't take a man's efforts as well as his work away from him. You know what I mean? I believe in that myself.
So when it comes to Southern Fried Marketing and artists are looking to tap into the brand to be able to further their career, like how do we go about that?
Well, it's an easy phone call, email. This time of day, all the platforms. I get DMs on a regular. But the one thing that I like to put out there, we're a marketing vessel because my situation is different. I'm not acting as a label. I really don't do much management, even though you heard me. I'm very picky about that.
Right.
Because, I come from a different cloth. A lot of got to do with understanding and patience. Because with that being said, you can have all the money in the world and still come and be an asshole. Excuse my French. But, I just real picky about what I attach myself to from a management standpoint. But with that being said, I just be honest with you, man. Is just sitting down and see what you got going on. I hope to God you got the right kind of records. That's how I got into this A&R situation because I've been known to pick out the next record. You know what I mean? I've picked out a few for the labels. I've picked out a few just when you come into these independent meetings and they don't know which record to go with. They probably going with the wrong one.
Right.
You know, simply just having things in place of that nature just depends on what we can do, if that makes sense. Because let's be 100, I'm gonna be 1,000 with you just to put it out there. It takes budgets to do this. This is a big boy game.
Absolutely.
I don't care what level you on. I don't care if you're walking in and get it done, the deal done. They're gonna spend money on an end to be able to push this artist, because I tell people all the time, you know, and they take it, I think people take it very lightly. There's so much music being uploaded every single day. So think about how crowded that is. That's even more crowded than LA traffic.
That's real.
You know what I mean? And when you get up on LA traffic, what you gotta do, you gotta figure out what lane you gonna be in. You gonna get rolled over, you get too far over, you're gonna get sped over. You stay too slow, you're gonna get ran over too. So you gotta find out a happy medium and carve yourself out in that high speed traffic, bro.
So I know a lot of big things popping on your end, and 2020 like it's on the rise. Can you share any of them secrets yet, man, of what's coming, or some of the deals that you just lined in, or?
Well, you know, I'm excited about this new Mr. Lee. I don't know if y'all familiar with Mr. Lee, but he's a legendary super producer. You know, we have our ongoing statement of what I call him. He's our Dr. Dre on the South. He was single-handedly responsible for that sound down in Houston. So we got XMG, you know, music group. We got XMG Visions that we doing movies. We got a documentary of his 20-year stand in this industry on Mr. Lee that we putting out by way of music access. You know, we got some big stuff coming along. You know, this distribution thing is gonna be really big for me once I crack a few of these projects. You know, I see the city coming together more and more. I'm really excited about that. I got a couple things that I'm working on. You know, with me and a couple of my younger compadres. You know, I'm like yourself. I stay attached to the youth to be able to stay in front of it. You know what I mean? Where we could do something that's not really in the marketplace. And I might give you a tidbit of it. You know, we're looking to develop a picnic kind of like the Roots do in Philly.
Oh, that's dope.
You know what I mean? So we got the city, you know, meeting and stuff going on where we can get them involved and behind us. So, you know, I'm just trying to do some things that is sustained past my career.
Absolutely.
You know, they feel like I brought something culturally sound to the market, you know?
Hey man, I appreciate that, and I'm glad y'all doing a picnic thing, because I had Spaceboy Fresh from 97.9 The Beat on here. I was like, why don't Dallas have a summer jam?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know cities were way smaller markets. Like I'm from Detroit, so
and
way
they used
smaller.
to for a lot of time, you know, but it was more of the stations competing for that space than so much as, you know, a promoter coming in, landing it, and then building it out. You know what I mean? They would, you know, most promoters come in, they usually try to attach themselves to the stations instead of just carving themselves out in the middle of the city.
Last thing, man, you see the Freaknik coming back this year?
Yes, sir.
Man, yes, sir. I've never, you know, when I was younger, I remember uncles coming back with the T-shirts and shit. I said, I couldn't wait till I got old enough, and then as soon as I got old enough, it's gone.
Yeah.
But now I'm married, so I got to figure out, I'm going to just make up an argument. Chicken again? I'm out of here.
Well, I wouldn't advise that. But, you know, being honest just might get you down through there. You know what I mean? But
it might,
it's
man.
going to be something special because, you know, that's another part of my career. I feel sometimes when I talk about some things, I'll be so dated. But, you know, I had a nice run with Luke for years.
Yeah.
So that whole world was at our fingertips because we was at all of that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's a whole other thing. Just like the Capitol Beach was another thing that was yearly, and you knew it was going to be thousands of people there from all over the world.
Yeah.
That was on the same page. It was just whatever, man. You know what I mean?
I ain't gonna be able to go.
They did actually. They think they did Freaknik last year in Atlanta.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So it's not on so much as coming back. I think they did it last year. It was like the first year, and I think they finna intensify it and take it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, because they said they changed it now to like Freak World, and it's gonna be a 3-day thing, man. So that's gonna be live, man. Well,
yeah, they finna turn it up on the promotions and everything. I'm pretty sure.
I got to figure out.
They did it last year, though. Yeah.
I gotta go figure out a good argument real quick.
You know, like I said, as a man, I wouldn't advise that, but you handle that the way you want.
Hey, BC, man, I appreciate you, man.
For sure, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.